Got to be making another video, but I'm kind of tired. It's night. I still wanna work on the draining the lake, but this might be a little harder than I thought because I know last time we were gonna okay. Wanna drain like this big part over here. That's what I wanna do today.
We'll be sweating right along with them. Michelob Ultra Zero. Superior is brewed here.
This movie, it's just too much. This definitely takes the cake as probably the most violent thing I've played.
We are determined to stop us.
Okay, guys. I'm not sure what to do.
And this movie, it's just too much. This definitely takes the cake as probably the most violent thing
But
I've played.
We are
why did they
determined
restore it?
to stop a situation in which video games with violent content are being peddled to our children.
You must watch this documentary.
How messed up does a movie or game have to be for a country to make it illegal? Today we're covering everything from movies to documentaries to games to even YouTube videos and channels which were all banned for being too controversial. This deep dive includes moments that would make you squirm. So grab some H2O and get ready because we're starting this video off with a horrible YouTube trend. Happy slapping. In 2005, a series of videos called Happy Slapping Videos appeared on YouTube. Despite the name, there was nothing happy about them. Happy Slapping Videos followed a disturbing pattern.
Oh my
A random
gosh.
stranger might be waiting at a bus stop, walking through a park, or just going about their day. Suddenly, out of nowhere, someone would run up and slap them while a friend filmed the whole thing. The victim would be left stunned and embarrassed. Sometimes they try to fight back, which only made the situation even more chaotic. Meanwhile, the person who slapped them would take off laughing as they ran away. But the slap wasn't the most humiliating part. The video would be uploaded to YouTube where it usually got a ton of views. Filming the slap was the whole point because, as people said, a happy slap was just a slap if nobody caught it on camera.
Basically, someone assaults a stranger while being recorded on a camera phone, hopefully creating a video that will go viral on the internet.
At first, people thought these videos were funny because the slap seemed harmless, just light taps on the cheek. But as more people started making these videos, it evolved into something far more aggressive. Young people started hitting strangers with enough force to knock them to the ground. There was even the case of a guy who yelled, "This is YouTube material," while recording himself harassing a stranger. This was no longer funny. It's absolutely insane that people were randomly attacked just so someone else can get internet clout. As these videos spread online, more and more people began to feel sorry for the victims, and the backlash against happy slapping hit like a hurricane. But people didn't just complain, they took legal action. In February 2007, a law was passed making happy slapping a crime in France. In Denmark, a lady was sentenced to 8 months in prison for her part in a violent happy slapping attack.
What nighttime already? Please, bro, help me, bro.
Although the police tried to stop it, happy slapping videos kept showing up on YouTube. In 2007, a UK school principal came up with an insane solution. The government should just ban YouTube. No YouTube would mean no place to share these videos. At the same time, YouTube was under growing pressure to act. Many people felt the platform was enabling bullying by allowing happy slapping videos to stay online. Some users even boycotted YouTube, refusing to use it until the videos were completely removed. With talks of a possible ban, YouTube finally acted and took down most of the happy slapping videos. They also updated their policies to prevent similar videos from being uploaded in the future. YouTube's new policies made it clear: violence, even if it's a prank, is not allowed on the platform. Now, this next one we're diving into is over 800 years ago. Hexen, Witchcraft Through the Ages.
Okay.
When Hexen was made in 1922, it was the most expensive film ever produced in Scandinavia. It also took 3 whole years to film.
Ow, no, Mom.
It was banned for being too disturbing. And that's because this film was about a topic that many people were scared of. Hexen is a horror film that explores the history of witchcraft. The film is split into several parts, each dividing into a different aspect of the subject. It was directed by prepare for film, Christensen read an
Oh.
ancient book about how to identify, hunt, and capture
That's
witches.
true. I
In
don't
filming,
have
he went to
tried
extreme
it.
lengths
I wanna
to make
really-
everything feel real.
To evoke the right mood, Christensen shot most of the film at night, also highly unusual for 1922.
The director even acted in the film himself, playing the role of the devil taunting priests and nuns. But the most disturbing part of the movie comes in part 3, where it shows how witches were persecuted in the Middle Ages.
Oh,
It
nah.
begins when a man named Jasper passes away lying in bed. His death
Where was
seems
the-
natural,
okay, he's
but
right here.
Jasper's
The
family
Column
believes he was
League.
murdered. The family accuses a poor old woman
Ow.
named Maria of
Ow,
taking Jasper's
ow,
life.
no,
But
ow.
Maria never even
Oh my
touched
gosh.
Jasper, so how could she have possibly harmed him? The family had an answer. Maria was a witch. Maria is old, wrinkled, and homeless. She looked exactly like what people thought a witch should look like. And that's all it took for them to accuse her. Back then, they
Ow!
used witches
Oh my gosh.
using
No.
spells and
No,
curses.
please,
Jasper's
help
family is
me.
so sure Maria is responsible that they report her to the judges. Maria is arrested and interrogated. At first, Maria insists she's innocent. She says, "How do you expect me to confess that which is not true?" But the judges pressure Maria until she finally cracks. Maria gives a false confession, saying she's done horrible things. She said she gave birth to the devil's children, attended demonic feasts, and used magical ointments. But then Maria gets a bit carried away with her confession. She begins to accuse other women in the village of being witches too. The judges take notes as Maria names other supposed witches. Soon they have a long list. The women Maria accused are arrested and pressured to confess. Once they confess, they too are forced to name other witches in the village. It became a vicious cycle where, as the story says, every witch gives 10 other witches away. By the end, multiple women are found guilty and sentenced to be burned at the stake. The punishment is brutal and hard to watch. When Hexen was released in September 1922, it was very different from the other movies of that era. It showed people without clothes, black magic rituals, and a realistic devil with horns. The list goes on. There were torture chambers, possessed nuns, and even sacrifices. Hexen wasn't just a movie, it was a nightmare on screen. Because of the disturbing visuals, the film got a lot of backlash. Remember, this was way back in 1922. One movie critic said Hexen was absolutely unfit for public exhibition. In the United States, it was banned outright. Even in Sweden, where it was made, theaters were scared to play it. The filmmakers had to cut out some of the scariest parts just to get it shown. But even after the cuts, people still thought the film was too much to
You're
handle.
coming
By the
in
time, though, Hexen became a classic.
2
The
hours?
sets,
Quick.
costumes, and special
Nah,
effects
that's
were
so
ahead of
kinda
their
quick.
time. Today, Hexen is even listed as one of the 1001 movies you must see before you die. And if you're not too scared, you should check it out. This next YouTube video is about a dumb YouTube channel that triggered a police manhunt, the Catch Me Killer. In February 2009, a new channel appeared on YouTube. Their first video was so disturbing that it left viewers feeling disgusted and angry. A man using the name Catch Me Killer posted a video saying he was responsible for several unsolved crimes. The YouTuber blurred his face and distorted his voice so no one could identify him. And then he began his confession.
This.
He claimed
Need
he'd
of
taken the
space.
lives of 16 women and hidden the remains. Although he said he was confessing, there was no regret in his voice. Instead, he sounded proud. The end of the video was the worst part. This mystery man issued a challenge to everyone watching.
The Catch Me Killer tells viewers, play my game and solve my puzzles, and I'll lead you to 16 bodies one by one.
He promised to provide a clue every week until they located the victims, saying once all 16 bodies are found, you'll know exactly who I am. But he also added a warning for the police: don't try to chase me, don't try to catch me. Once this video went viral on YouTube, people wondered who this mystery man was. Was he a real criminal, or was this all just a big joke? The only way to find out was to play his twisted game. It was obvious this mystery YouTuber knew what he was talking about. Every clue he gave was connected to an unsolved case, usually involving missing people.
He would also leave cryptic messages below videos that were talking about certain
Okay, now we're
things.
gonna go
He never
here
really
again.
stated anything outright, but he would heavily imply that he had some sort of involvement in their disappearance.
His first clue was about Tara Grinstead, a former beauty queen from South Georgia. She'd been missing since 2005. Although he didn't say her name, he talked about her past as a pageant contestant. He also hinted that he was responsible for the disappearance of Jennifer Kessie, another missing person from 2006. Since these clues were linked to real cases, the police launched a manhunt to find this mysterious YouTuber. But their only lead was a YouTube video with a blurred face and altered voice. That wasn't much, but it was enough to track him down.
Trident
Cyber
guy.
experts identified
Did
the
he spawn?
IP address of the computer that posted the video. They traced it to a house in Florida. Hours later, agents stormed the house and arrested the man responsible for the Catch Me Killer YouTube channel. His name was Andrew Scott Haley, and he was in his late 20s. The cops thought they caught a criminal. I mean, this guy confessed to taking 16 lives in his YouTube video. The biggest surprise was yet to come, because when they arrested Andrew Scott Haley, they realized it was all a lie. When Andrew, aka the Catch Me Killer, was questioned, he gave cops a ridiculous explanation. Andrew claimed everything he said in his video was a joke. He said he was playing a game to fool people on the internet. And he was right. Police found nothing to indicate he was involved in any of these disappearances. But that didn't mean Andrew was off the hook. Police spent hundreds of hours and tens of thousands of dollars trying to catch him. This hoax wasted public resources and caused real pain to the families of the missing people. Andrew was charged with evidence tampering and making false statements because his videos disrupted the investigations into these cases. He was sentenced to 2 years in a work release jail and several more years of probation. The Catch Me Killer YouTube channel was banned and all his disgusting videos were scrubbed from the internet. This next video was meant to be funny, but it made a lot of people really mad. How to say hello in 30 languages. If you visit Filthy Frank's YouTube channel, you'll find videos with strange titles like Angry Black Man in Closet, Man Eats Raw Squid, and Pukes, and Loser Reads Hater Comments. And no matter how much you scroll, one video you won't find is a video called How to Say Hello in 30 Languages. Even though the video had a pretty innocent title, it caused so much controversy that YouTube stepped in and deleted it. Big question is,
Ow!
Alright, gather round, children. It's that time of the year again.
Filthy Frank was a YouTuber and internet comedian, but his comedy was different from most. He made people laugh by doing over-the-top things. He even called himself an absolute madman and the literal embodiment of everything a person should not be.
Do you want pearly white teeth the natural way? Now you can do it for cheap. Spray paint your teeth white.
In the early 2010s, Filthy Frank's weird skits and crude jokes were a big hit on YouTube. And he totally deserved the success because he was one of the most creative YouTubers of his time. Although his jokes pushed the boundaries, fans loved his edgy humor.
Because everybody's trying to promote their mixtape nowadays when they talk about how they're going to make it, miraculously becoming a rapper. And these people believe that it's going to happen.
Then one day, Filthy Frank finally went too far. With one video, people thought his comedy went from edgy to unacceptable. On August 25th, 2012, Filthy Frank uploaded a video titled How to Say Hello in 30 Languages. From the title, most people expected him to just say hello in different languages from around the world. But that's not what he did. Instead of just a hello, he acted out over-the-top stereotypes about people from each country. For example, when he said hello in Indian, he made a goofy face and yelled really loud. For Swedish, he made a weird noise again and again. Every country got its own bizarre act. For some countries' greetings, he just flushed a toilet. The video was supposed to be lighthearted fun, but some viewers didn't see it that way. They felt like it spread negative stereotypes and was disrespectful. For instance, when Filthy Frank did the Latino greeting, he acted like a criminal. YouTube eventually took down the video for violating its policies, especially regarding discriminatory content. The Filthy Frank wiki about the video says his video was removed due to him being racist and rude about countries. Although YouTube took down the video, you can still find it in other places online. A lot of people love this sense of humor, but his edgy style just wasn't for everyone. Now he's a successful musician under the name Joji, and his music is pretty good. This next banned video was supposed to be educational, but viewers found it terrifying. Mondo Kane.
Las fragancias más lujosas ahora están disponibles exclusivamente en tu super favorito. La Unstoppable Memory Collection hace que todo huela magnifique. Perlas de perfume para tu lavadora para que puedas oler unstoppable.
2 stacks, almost 3 stacks. Nah. I'm going to sleep.
Total Wireless is a 5,000 a month Piccolo wireless hit 435 volts. Now that's a total power. Heavy trucks are as dependable as the Chevy people who drive them. They don't need permission to get going. They all have that little extra.
Go out. Go out.
And maybe you get
Go out.
Chevrolet. Together, let's
No!
Other companies spend millions on
Well, he was gonna use this.
commercials and celebrity cameos. But Ramsey Smart Tax didn't even spend money to rent out a fancy studio.
Ew, what the heck?
We'd rather pass the savings on to you by making filing easy, keeping our prices affordable, and not springing hidden fees on you. Stick with Ramsey
Despawn.
Smart Tax and file smarter.
Mondo Kane came out, it was called the world's first shockumentary, and that wasn't a compliment. A shockumentary is a documentary meant to shock and disgust its audience. The more disgusted the audience is, the better the shockumentary. So the question is, what was in Mondo Kane that made it so disgusting?
Go over there.
Mondo Kane is a spectacle as big as the eye can see.
Mondo Kane was produced in 1962 by a team of Italian filmmakers. Initially, they told everyone that they were making a documentary about different cultures around the world. That sounded innocent enough. However, people began to realize that this was no ordinary documentary when they first heard the title Mondo Kane. Mondo Kane is an Italian phrase that literally translates to dog world. But it wasn't just about the dogs, it had a much darker meaning. The director titled the documentary Dog World to show that humans can be just as wild and cruel as animals. In this case, dog world meant a harsh world where people acted like beasts, and like saying a dog-eat-dog world. Mondo Kane wasn't just about different cultures from around the world, it focused on the most violent and disturbing practices. It was a collection of footage displaying mankind at its most depraved and perverse. Once the documentary was ready, posters popped up all over Italy inviting people to watch it in theaters.
Hurry, hurry, hurry. You're just in time, friends, to see the most sensational, the most
Ow, oh, ow.
ever witnessed by
Baby zombie.
Even though the
Baby.
ads warned about how unsettling the movie was,
Baby
people wanted
drowned.
to see it for themselves. But they weren't ready for what they
I
witnessed.
tried it. I want to
Mondo
get so
Kane
bad, but
aired in
this baby
theaters.
guy
The
is just
film
so
premiered in
annoying.
Italy
He's such a
on March
gremlin.
30th, 1962, and it was 108 minutes of non-stop shock. It showed the filmmakers traveling the world, capturing the most gruesome footage from different tribes. The documentary opened with a chilling disclaimer.
Come over here,
All
baby
scenes
zombie.
you'll see in this film are true. If they're shocking, it's only because there are many shocking things in this world.
Ow, ow, no, no. Crap, crap, crap.
And they weren't kidding. In one scene, women were fattened up with food until they weighed over 264
The
pounds.
heck?
Then they were offered as wives to the village dictator. There was a religious ceremony where villagers walked in a parade while holding live snakes. Another scene showed people burning money during a funeral so the deceased person could take the money into the afterlife.
Here, after hundreds
Like
of
this.
dark centuries, men discover for the first time in their lives that they have a God.
Like this.
Scenes of animals being treated badly. Mondo Kane definitely delivered on its promise. It was shocking, disgusting, and soon everyone was talking about it.
Mondo Kane. People all over the world are talking about Mondo Kane. For Mondo Kane has more in it to talk about than any picture ever before seen.
But the same thing that made the documentary famous also led to its downfall. When Mondo Kane became the talk of the town, it also generated a lot of controversy. The first problem? Critics hated it. They called it gross and uncivilized. And with very graphic scenes, it's easy to see why. But that wasn't the only issue. Soon, people started to wonder if everything in the documentary was actually real. There were rumors that some scenes were staged or edited to make things look worse than
Ow!
they were. The filmmakers were also accused of exploiting the tribes they filmed. Critics said they were only showing this footage to make money without caring about the cultures that they were showing. And as more people watched it, the backlash got stronger. Many countries banned the documentary. For instance, Mondo Kane was banned in the UK because some scenes showed animals being treated inappropriately. The filmmakers defended their work, saying that they were just showing the world as it really is. Now, more than 60 years later, Mondo Kane
Ow, again, bro. I keep falling.
ever made. and it's still banned in many places to this day. This audience review on Rotten Tomatoes says it best. This is still the quintessential shockumentary. If you have a strong stomach, watch this flick, but if you have any hesitations, hold back. Now we're diving into a video game that caused such a mess it had to be settled in court. Bully. In 2005, Rockstar Games announced a new game. It was called Bully, and just the name made people freak out.
They coming out with a game where children can beat their teachers up, children can beat their classmates up.
These are things that are depicted in the game.
In the game, right?
The game wasn't even out yet, but people assumed that a game called Bully would make bullying seem cool, and that might increase violence in schools. As the complaints increased, they said it wasn't about being a bully, it was about fighting them. In the game, players controlled a character named Jimmy Hopkins. Jimmy was a student at Bulworth Academy. But Jimmy wasn't a bully. He protected weaker kids from bullies. That explanation calmed things down in the US. But in places like the UK and Australia, people still wanted it banned. So the creators of the game decided to change something. They renamed the game in certain countries. The new title was Canis Canem Edit. That means dog eat dog in Latin. But apart from the name change, everything else in the game stayed the same. In 2006, Bully was finally released, and when people actually played it, it wasn't nearly as dangerous as they expected. It was given a teen rating in the US and a 15 rating in the UK. But that didn't end the drama. Some powerful people still wanted this game gone. Jack Thompson was a lawyer famous for fighting against violent video games, and Bully was next on his list. He didn't care that the game was about stopping bullies. He believed it was way too violent for kids. So Thompson took Rockstar Games to court. He wanted Bully banned forever, off the shelves and out of homes. Unfortunately, things didn't go his way. Before making a final ruling, the judge did something unexpected. He played the game himself. After seeing what Bully was really like, he ruled that there was no reason to ban it. This meant gamers in the US could keep playing Bully. In Brazil, it was a different story. In 2008, the Brazilian government started cracking down on violent video games. Bully was one of their main targets. The Brazilian court declared the game was too violent for young children and teenagers. The judge added that inside a school. Stores in Brazil were given 30 days to pull it off the shelves. Anyone caught selling or even owning the game would have to pay a fine. Brazilian gamers smuggled pirated copies into the country, but the ban stayed in place for almost 10 years. It wasn't until 2016 that the ban was finally lifted. Up next is a video that was meant to be a prank, but it became an international scandal. The PewDiePie sign. PewDiePie is one of the most popular YouTubers in the world, but even his massive popularity couldn't stop YouTube from deleting one of his videos in 2017. Just 1 month earlier, in December 2016, PewDiePie became the first YouTuber to reach 50 million subscribers.
Also, we gained 50 million subscribers.
At that point, he was making around $14 million a year from ads and sponsorships. Huge brands like Disney were collaborating with him, and he was about to release the second season of his show, Scare PewDiePie. Life was great for PewDiePie, but all the success came with pressure. To keep his 50 million subscribers entertained, PewDiePie needed to post exciting videos regularly. If he slowed down or put out boring videos, it could keep him from growing.
You know, even though it might not seem like it, I really care about every single video I make. I make sure it's the best it can be. I do daily content after all.
Just weeks after hitting 50 million subscribers, PewDiePie came up with a dumb video idea that almost ruined his career. PewDiePie decided to make a video where he would check out services available on the internet to show how crazy the modern world is. To find online services, he went on Fiverr, which is a website with thousands of freelancers.
There's a website called Fiverr where you basically can ask anyone for anything for $5.
PewDiePie wanted to see just how far people would go to earn $5 on Fiverr. To start, he chose a service that caught his interest.
But my favorite is Your Message Home.
Oh.
These guys
No! No!
my body and danced in the jungle.
PewDiePie came up with the most outrageous something no one would ever say in public. Then he offered freelancers $5.
My gosh! Oh, stupid drown!
Because I don't want to get in trouble by YouTube, but it was a terrible thing to say. It read, "Death to all members of a certain religious group."
Here we go. Sign to behold. Death to
Here's where PewDiePie made things worse. Instead of hiring freelancers who knew what they were getting into, PewDiePie paid 2 freelancers from India to hold up the sign.
Exclusively on Fiverr for $5.
The men known as the Funny Guys lived in a rural area in India. They didn't fully understand the meaning of the words PewDiePie asked them to write, but for $5, they did it. They recorded themselves laughing and dancing while holding the offensive sign. Then they sent the video to PewDiePie and received their $5. In January 2017, PewDiePie shared the video on YouTube. He expected his fans to laugh at what people would do for $5, but they didn't find it funny at all. News outlets around the world picked up the story accusing PewDiePie of promoting violence. Reporters dug up other controversial videos on PewDiePie's channel, including one that showed a man dressed as Jesus saying Hitler did absolutely nothing wrong. But PewDiePie wasn't the only one getting criticized. The Fiverr freelancers from India who held up the sign were also in trouble. Fiverr.com was created by Israelis, and PewDiePie's sign was a direct insult to their people.
Oh my gosh, how did I die?
Fiverr banned their accounts, preventing them from getting any freelance jobs on the platform. Desperate, the Indians made an apology video saying that they didn't know what the message on the sign meant.
Oh my gosh.
Sorry for the mistake we have made in the video. Please forgive us. We really don't know what the message means while making the video.
They also said that losing their Fiverr accounts took away their main source of income. Everyone felt bad for them. Even PewDiePie tried to help them get back on Fiverr.
Now PewDiePie on Twitter publicly reached out to them saying, at Fiverr, get them back their account. Please ban me, it's fine, but it doesn't seem fair to ban these guys.
As far as I know, the Indian freelancers never got their Fiverr accounts back. But this situation was hurting PewDiePie too. Reporters reached out to companies working with PewDiePie, asking how they felt about his offensive video. In response, major brands including Disney terminated their deals with him. YouTube also canceled Scare PewDiePie Season 2 and removed them from the Google Preferred program, making them lose a ton of money. As the backlash continued, the video disappeared from PewDiePie's channel. It's not clear if YouTube deleted it because it violated their policies or
I see that guy that
PewDiePie
killed
took
me.
it down himself. However,
Revenge.
PewDiePie did apologize, saying, "I think of the content that I
Ow,
create
ow,
as
ow,
entertainment
ow,
and
ow.
not a place for
No.
any serious political commentary. Though this was not my intention, I understand that these jokes were ultimately offensive. However, this scandal didn't destroy PewDiePie's career. He bounced back and is still one of the biggest YouTubers today. The next film is so twisted that even horror movie fans struggled to sit through it. The Human Centipede 2 full sequence. Before any movie can be released in the UK, it has to be approved by the National Film Board. It's a standard process, but when the Human Centipede full sequence was submitted for approval, the authorities
killed
didn't
it.
just reject it. They said it was just too horrible to show. Usually, a rejected movie can cut out the bad scenes and reapply for approval, but not this time. The board said that no amount of cuts would allow them to give this film a certificate. So what was in this movie that caused such an extreme reaction? The Human Centipede full sequence is about a man named Martin Lomax. Martin is a security guard who works in an underground parking garage. But Martin has a secret obsession. He wants to create something called a human centipede. It's a twisted concept where multiple people are stitched together to form one long, crawling creature, like a centipede. He got the idea from a movie he watched. Martin is so fixated on this idea that he even tells his mom about it. Obviously, she thinks he's out of his mind.
Ow, what?
He keeps on talking about a centipede with 12 people.
But Martin doesn't care what anyone thinks. Even though he has no medical training, he starts gathering tools like duct tape and a staple gun to bring his twisted vision to life. He also finds an abandoned warehouse, which is the perfect spot for his plan. Then Martin begins kidnapping people one by one and taking them to the warehouse. Once he has 12 people, Martin begins his experiment. He uses a staple gun and duct tape to attach them together, and I'll let you fill in the rest. And yes, the movie shows every moment of this process. Once his creation is complete, Martin forces the centipede to crawl, deriving pleasure from his twisted work. But his experiment doesn't go as planned. The centipede begins to fall apart because people can't be attached that way. Disappointed by his failure, Martin snaps. He starts to get physical with his captives, but during the scuffle, Martin gets hurt. At that moment, the scene suddenly changes. Martin is back in the underground garage where he works, sitting at his desk like nothing happened. It seems everything that the audience just saw was a dream. After filming Wrapped, the editors spent months piecing everything together. The final product was 91 minutes of pure horror.
Okay guys, I think I'm gonna be ending the video here. I think you have a great day.
Then they submitted it to
Please
the
subscribe
British
to my
Board
channel.
of Film Classification for approval, but instead of getting approval,
Have a
they
great
got
day.
condemned. The UK
And
Film Board
goodbye.
flat